Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today we want to get into the matchups. The matchups between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday. Um, like I said before, I think this may be a difficult game for the Steelers to win. But the one thing is frustrating about this team is you just don't know what to expect from the Steelers. They could turn it around and play the way that everybody expect them to play, or they could keep playing the way that they're playing right now. So to be honest, and don't be fooled, because nobody knows. I don't even think Mike Tomlin knows what team is going to step on that field on Sunday. Um, so to be fair, I can only go by what I've seen and the work that they have put out the last time they was on the field, and that wasn't a good showing. And so I've really took the attitude now until the Steelers show me difference. That's all I can go by. That's all I can go by. That's all I can judge them by is the work that they're putting out there. And right now, they're not putting anything out there that's good. The offense, on the flip side of it, the offense haven't been playing bad. The offense, for the most part, you would have to say they have kept up. They end of the bargain. It's just been the defense. Defense has been a total sham, a total disappointment, and they only really showed life to me against Minnesota and the Cleveland Browns. And that's it. I mean, other than that, they haven't really did much. They haven't really made anybody feel confident of of what they can do. So unfortunately, I have to watch the Baltimore Ravens tonight, because if you look at their schedule is I'm not gonna say cake, because there's no game in the NFL that's just a cake game, but whatever that word is before cake, or that's what the Baltimore Ravens schedule is like right now, because they actually been through their hard stretch. They got the Miami Dolphins tonight, and I mean, if Baltimore get on the road that I think they can get on, the Steelers can meet Baltimore, and Baltimore could be like 7-5. They could be like 7-5 the first time they meet up. So it's just I don't know. It's just a eerie feeling right now. But with that said, let's go ahead and get to the matchups. And so this is week 9. Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-3. The Indianapolis Colts is 7-1. Basically, they had the best record in the league right now. A very balanced team. I mean, their defense is really not, something to write home about, but their defense is solid. It's a solid unit. The offense is I think it might be the number one offense in the league. They got plenty of weapons. They got a great offensive line, and they got a great running back running behind that offensive line, which again doesn't bode well for the Steelers, but we will see. So let's get right into the matchups. Let's talk quarterback. Obviously, to me, Aaron Rodgers he's been solid. Aaron Rodgers has been solid. No complaints. You could now, if you want to nitpick, and say, sometimes he hold on to the ball too long, or this or that. I mean, I guess you could say that, but for the most part, no complaints. I mean, for the first time in a long time, I can't say this is the elite Aaron Rodgers, but this is definitely a good version of Aaron Rodgers. So the Steelers are actually getting good quarterback play, which we haven't had in years. And I just hate to see that we're finally getting some decent quarterback play and we're not taking advantage of it because our defense can't stop me or you. And that's just a bad feeling, and it's kind of upsetting, but it is what it is. As far as the Colts, they started off with Anthony Richardson. It kind of seems like he may be a miss opportunity, a bust. I hate kind of putting busts on guys, but he may be that. So they went out there and this summer signed Daniel Jones, which everybody know him as Danny Dimes. Been playing great. Been playing great. I mean, he's a guy. He can make all the throws. He's athletic. I mean, he's no Lamar Jackson, but he can move around in the pocket. He can take off and run and get some first downs. Smart guy. In New York, I think he was just in a situation where it was too much on him, and he actually was kind of asked to carry the team. And he's really not that guy. But he's the type guy you put a running game behind him, put a good offensive line behind him, the weapons that he have, he's playing very good. And to be honest, you might could say he's playing better than Rodgers. But with that said, I'm going to go with Rodgers just for the fact of Danny Dimes, that slipper could come off at any time. That's the only thing and I'm quite sure that scares a lot of Colts fans too. And anytime he could turn back into Danny Dimes of the New York Giants. So with that said, we're gonna get that to Aaron Rodgers. I just think I can trust Rodgers more than Mr. Dimes there, but we'll see. Running back. This is really a no-brainer. It's unfortunate that they won't give a running back the MVP because Jonathan Taylor is definitely trending towards that, but they're not going to ever give a running back the MVP. But he's putting up huge numbers. He's one of those running backs that not only that he runs with power, he's a guy that you can give him 30 carries a game if you have to, but also he has breakaway speed. So this is a guy that, he ain't going to just get some 20-yard runs, 30-yard runs. This guy could take it 80. He could take it 80 to the house. Good night, Irene. Good receiver out the backfield. So, they can hit him on screens. And like I say, he's a threat to score from anywhere on the field. And the Steelers linebackers have definitely got to keep an eye on this guy. Definitely, when they get their hands on him, tackle him. Can't be missing tackles with him because the more opportunities you give him, he's going to take one a long way against you. So with the Steelers, Warren has been, I have no complaints. He's been playing good. He's been doing what they've asked of him. I just feel like sometimes the Steelers don't give him enough carries. But other than that, and even with Gainwell, the Steelers got a nice 1-2 punch, but Jonathan Taylor is the better guy here, and that advantage will go to the Colts. The receivers, again, DK is probably the best receiver that's going to be on the field Sunday, but I think the Colts have the better unit with Pittman, Pierce, and Downs. So they got a three-headed receiving core over there, where the Steelers, for the most part, as of right now, we are one-man gang. And I think that's an issue. I think that's a major issue. And hopefully the Steelers figure that out. But who knows, what they're gonna do there. So with that said, I'm giving that edge to the Colts, and this is gonna be an issue because from what we've seen from our secondary, and like I say, we only can go by what we've seen. I don't know how the Steelers are gonna cover all these guys, but we'll see. From the tight end situation, again, Steelers are, they got three guys that they use. But the problem, Darnell Washington, you really can't exploit him the way that you would like because he has to stay in and block, especially now with the offensive line kind of being shuffled around a little bit. He got to really stay in the block, so you're not going to really use him as a pass catcher too much. You got Moof that's kind of coming back to life. Smith, it seemed like he's trending down. But with that said, Tyler Warren, the rookie out of Penn State, big time weapon, a big time yak receiver. Tight end, and the Colts definitely use him a lot. They look for him in the middle of the field, and again, this is just another weapon that the Steelers are gonna have to worry about. And like I say, from what we've seen from them, how they gonna deal with it. But we'll see. That matchup advantage definitely goes to the Colts. The offensive line, again, the Steelers offensive line have shown life, have improved. But to me, I think last week kind of showed that even though they have improved, but they kind of did it almost smoke and mirrors. I hate to say it, but it's almost been smoke and mirrors. They've been able to run the ball because they was using that big package, but it seemed like when they got away from that, the coaches, to be honest, we really can't tell if they could run the ball or not because they just totally gave up on it. So to me, that's the coaches are kind of letting me feel as though that they didn't have no faith in the offensive line as far as man on man to get the running game, to keep the running game going. When you really watch the film, Jones is still kind of doing what Jones do. Guys are still blowing by him, but like I say, it's just been they've schemed a lot of different things to kind of hide them. Basically, they've schemed a lot of stuff to kind of hide them a little bit. So, with the Colts have a great offensive line, and it's led by Nelson, the guard, and he's mean, he's nasty, and he's a guy that will kick your ass. That's what he is, and the Steelers gonna have to deal with him, and he's been leading the way for Taylor, and again, like I say, we only can go by what the Steelers have been showing us. And what they have been showing us is they can't stop the run. They can't do anything, it seems like. So with that said, I'm giving that advantage to the Colts. So as you look at it, Colts has a better offense than the Steelers. And again, this scares the mess out of me just for the fact that our defense is struggling right now, and this is the wrong team to try to get your defense back on track and try to maybe get some new players in there at different positions. This is the wrong team, I feel like, to be trying to do that against. But unfortunately, that's how the schedule failed. So we'll see what happens. Over to the defensive side. Again, the edges, defensive ends, the Steelers should have the advantage with T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig. You would think the Steelers, this is almost a position every week the Steelers should really be winning. it shouldn't be really too many teams that you could look at and say, put those type of edges out there. But again, this defense haven't really been living up to it. So who knows? Like I say, from week to week, we don't know who's going to show up. I just wonder. I wonder with Watt, is he hurt? Is he hurt? Because it's just, I don't know. Either he's hurt, either the injuries have taken a major toll out of him. It's something. It's just he's just not he just ain't right. Like, so I don't know what's going on. From the Colts, they got Mr. Pay. They finally got him healthy. I remember him at the it wasn't at the combine. I think it was at Michigan's pro day. He hurt his knee or Achilles or something. So they then he dealt with some injuries, but they finally got him on the field now. Pretty solid. He's pretty solid, but I'm going to give the advantage to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to put some faith in Mr. Watt and just say that maybe he's going to show up this week or something, or I don't know. Maybe they're going to get his brother and throw his brother in there. I don't know. Something got to happen. And I know the first thing that has to happen, Herbert has to play more. He has to play. He has to get more snaps. But we're gonna give that matchup to the Steelers, and I don't know, but we'll see. The defensive tackles again, honestly, you can go down the whole defense and say the same thing. It's just nobody's stepping up. Nobody's stepping up. They're gonna be going up against a solid offensive line, a mean, aggressive offensive line. This might not bode well for Benton for sure. As my man Big G say, he see him getting body slammed most of the time. So this might actually be one of them games where he do get body slammed because he's gonna be going up against some mean and nasty guys. So our defensive tackles may have they work cut out. On the flip side, the Colts got Foster. They got Mr. D Forrest. I don't know where his mom got that name from. Mr. D Forrest. He a big guy. Dude, probably about 6'8". He's huge. But he's disruptive. He stops the run. He plays the run well. He gets to the quarterback. He's, like I say, he's about 6'8". I mean, this dude wingspan is crazy. So he makes a lot of tackles that you think that he can get to. So DeForest Buckner is going to be a big task for this defense. So I'm actually going to give the matchup to the Colts on that, because I just think Buckner can really do some damage and maybe control that offensive line a little bit. The linebackers, again, same old thing with the Steelers. Queen and Wilson. If the defensive line is struggling, which they may struggle with this offensive line, it's gonna be all bad. It's gonna be all bad for those guys, because you're gonna have those guards getting up on them linebackers. And I can tell you now, if Nelson gets hold to Queen or Wilson, it's gonna be all bad. He's gonna definitely, in that terrible turf, he's gonna plant one of those guys, and they're gonna have to get the grounds crew to go and dig them out because you know it could be bad. But on the flip side, the Colts, none of their linebackers, nothing special. Nothing special with those guys. And to be honest, if they can play up to their capabilities, and if the defensive line can protect them, Patrick Queen and Wilson is better than what the Colts have. So I'm gonna give those guys the benefit of the doubt. But this is something that I could easily regret and look back at it and say I was a dummy for saying that. But again, with our linebackers, it all shakes out to with the defensive line. If the defensive line is struggling, the linebackers are going to struggle. If the defensive line is doing what they're supposed to do and eating up blocks, these linebackers can have a big game. And we need them to have a big game because they're going to have to get Taylor on the ground. Because once he gets some space, I'm telling you, he's going to the house. The cornerbacks, again, I mean, it's the same old story with the Steelers. You just don't know who's going to show up, what type of team is going to show up, what defense is. I mean, you just don't know with these guys. I think Slay is. I don't think he's getting totally benched. So he probably get out there and get some reps, but I don't think he's going to be starting. I think Echols is going to be in there a little bit, but this is a tough matchup for them. Now, these guys are not obviously they're not Chase and I forgot his name. I don't know. Anyway, these not the Cincinnati Bengals receivers, Higgins. But these guys are solid guys. With Pittman and Pierce, they bigger guys, so that's not going to be a good matchup for Echols. I mean, these are like 6'3", 6'4" type guys. Can high point the ball. They're solid. I mean, these are coverable guys. Like, to me, Joey Porter needs to get his game together and step up. And if Porter, if he's the player that everybody wants him to be, and he should be, this should be, I'm not going to say an easy game, but this is a game that he should be able to, whoever's on his side, handle them. But he's grabby. I've never seen a DB as grabby as him. And part of that is two reasons for that. One, you don't trust your technique, and two, you don't trust your speed. And that's why he's grabbing on guys. So I don't know what they can do to fix him. It almost seemed like at this point they can't fix him. He is, who he is. But we'll see. But with that said, with Porter, Echols, and Ramsey, I think they're going to be better than the Colts corners or Edwards and Blackman. So I'm gonna get that to the Steelers. I'm gonna give it to the Steelers. And when I look at right now, when I look at what I see, I can't believe it because, come on, let's just be honest. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense suck, and they haven't, they haven't played well at all this year. Like I said, they had a couple of games, and I thought, and they tricked me. They totally tricked me. After the Browns game, I was like, wow, that's Pittsburgh Steelers football. I mean, they were taking shots at those guys. The Browns receivers were alligating arms, everything. And I was like, that's Pittsburgh Steelers football. But we see that only happened because the Browns offense sucked. and the Steelers defense is just better than their sorry offense. But whatever. Safety wise, we have to see. I mean, Thornhill is trash. He was trash when he was here with the Browns. He's still trash. You can't judge a football when it's in the air. But I'm thinking he's probably going to have to probably still play a little bit. He's going to have to deal with Warren. I'm thinking Ramsey maybe is going to play a little bit more safety. I don't know. I really don't know what the Steelers going to do. I mean, do we see more Peppers? Do we see more Peppers this week? They're going to have to figure that out. But I'm giving that matchup to the Colts. I just think the Colts should be able to exploit that situation. I mean, because really, like I say, the Colts defense is really not that good. I mean, they've been doing it from a offensive standpoint, but the thing of it is, when you have an offense that's scoring points like that, it helps your defense out. For one thing, they're possessing the ball, and they sometimes you just can play a little looser. You can play a little looser when you know, hey, if I try to jump this route and I happen to miss it, and the guy goes 60 on me, we got the offense that can come right back around and make up for them points that we gave up. So it kind of lets you play a little bit more freer. Special teams, this is something that, I mean, with Boz, this is something the Steelers is going to, they're going to win this every week. I mean, you got the best kicker in the game. The return is doing better. I still think Williams is due to bust one. I keep saying it every week, and I guess at some point I'm going to be right, but I think he's going to get one. I think it's coming. It's coming that he's going to break one, and like I said, the coverage teams are doing much better, and you got the boss. You got the best kicker in the game. I mean, the only thing that can stop them is that trash turf that the Steelers have on their playing surface. That's about all that can stop them. So with that said, the Steelers definitely getting the matchup on that. And coaching. Again, I'm in the wait and see mode with our coaching. Especially defensively. I mean, we ain't talked about that enough, and it's below the line. It's definitely below the line. Mike Tomlin, come on, bro. And this is weird, and I have never really had this feeling. And this is really not where I want to talk about this, but I think Mike Tomlin time has expired. I think his time has, and not that he's a bad coach. It's not that, but I just think I want to say this is his 19th year. So, it's just, it's one of them things. I mean, like, if you, even at your job, you get that guy that been there 20 years, you know how it is. You don't want change. You want to do things your way because you've been doing it that way for the last 15, 18 years. Don't want to really listen to nobody. And you just going to do things your way. Now, especially now maybe with the job at some point, if they want you to change, you either got to change or you go find another job. But in his position, it ain't nobody really. I mean, if the owner ain't coming down on you and saying you need to do this, then it's Mike Tomlin's world. And right now, with the Rooneys, it seems like it's Mike Tomlin's world. So he's doing whatever he want to do. He don't care. He feel like his way is the right way, and it just is what it is. And I think right now the Steelers are definitely getting out coached, especially on the defensive side, because these young offensive coordinators. I mean, these guys are aggressive. They watch the film. They see the Steelers is running a basic defense, and they just taking advantage of it. So until Mike T want to figure some things out, it's gonna be this way. It's gonna be this way. So with that said, I'm giving the coaching to the Colts, and it's sad, man. It's sad, but like I say, to me, I think Mike Tomlin, he's a great. He's a leader of men. He's a great motivator. He if you ever get a chance, if you watched it, I think it was, I don't know if it was the beginning of this year. I forget exactly when it showed, but he did an interview with Ryan Clark on his podcast, The Pilot. If you get a chance, watch that. I mean, because he tells a story about Antonio Brown, and you just if you get a chance, just watch that. And those type things, you're not getting that from every coach, and that's the good thing, and that's the thing that Mike Tomlin brings to the table that you're not getting at a lot of places. And with these young, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, at this point, Mike Tomlin's in his 50s, so these guys here, like most of them, they kind of like his kids, age wise, and he's not, so he's still young enough to be hip and understand these guys, and that there that means a lot. So from that standpoint, I think that's where Mike Tomlin brings to the table that a lot of coaches don't, and I think the Steelers can take advantage of that. But I've always said, especially at this point, I want Mike T just to be a CEO. Be a CEO type coach, man. Hire you a good offensive coordinator, hire you a good defensive coordinator, let those guys do their job. You handle all the other stuff that you need to handle as being a head coach, and he could be here another 10, 15 years if he wants to. But at this point, the way he's doing it now, it seems like he's a little bullheaded. It's going to end bad, and I don't want to see that. I, I don't want to see that. I want him to be able to, if he decides he want to leave, he should just leave because that's what he wants to do. Don't, because the Steelers will never fire him. They won't just, I mean, unless it go totally off the rails, they'll never fire him. But you know how it works. They'll put that pressure on him to basically maybe make him leave before he wants to. And I don't want to see that because I think he meant a lot to this team, but at some point you got to kind of see what's going on, and it seems like right now he ain't trying to hear that, and he trying to do things his way. So anyway, prediction time. Yeah, so let's just get right to it. I think the Colts win this game 31-21. 21 seems like a low point total for the Steelers because like I said, the offense have been playing pretty well, pretty good. But I think the issue is going to be, I think the Colts are going to control the ball. I think the time of possession, the Colts are going to win that easily, and I think that's going to happen because they're going to be running the ball, and I just don't think this defense is going to be able to stop Jonathan Taylor. And this might be a game, and I don't know what the weather is looking like, but this may be a rainy game. So I just think the Steelers offensively is not going to really get a lot of opportunities to to be out there. I think this is a huge game for Jonathan Taylor. I'm talking anywhere from a buck 40, between a buck 40, buck 50. I think he's gonna have a big game. And I hate to say that. And again, as a Steeler fan, if it doesn't happen, I'm happy, but I'm just gonna be realistic. And until this defense shows me more, I can't sit here and justify that. Oh yeah, they're gonna shut him down. I'm not gonna do that. We just, I mean, at some point you got to just be honest with yourself, and this defense haven't showed us, what, that they can even stop anybody. So, with that said, I think the Colts win it 31-21, and that's it. So that is it. We'll see. This is just depressing. This is depressing. But hopefully, the trade deadline is coming up, and the Steelers can make some moves to kind of help this offense a little more and help this defense a little more. But at this point, it's hard to say. But anyway, make sure you like and subscribe, and we will talk to you guys probably on Sunday. But until then, take care, and I will talk to you later. All right, bye-bye.